Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Agave Talk, your number one source for everything agave. We appreciate you being here with us today. Today is video 2 of 3, Casa Elemental. I'm bringing you the brand lineup, and today this is something very special. I mean, the whole lineup itself has been special. Last week, I ended up doing a very limited, super small batch mezcal espadin. This was only being produced to 150 bottles, and this was good. Go watch that video. Next week, saving the most unique for last, I'm bringing you a distilled pulque. Yes, this is pulcata, and stay tuned next week for all that of what that is. I'm not going into it today, but this is something that you do not see, but you may start seeing over the next few years. Casa Elemental doing some really cool things, but today I am focusing on their agave spirit. So this is actually it's a tequila, okay? Why do I do all that? Why does it say agave spirit, right? I'm gonna break this down for sure. But before that, go watch the other video and just a little bit about the background of the brand itself, Casa Elemental. They're actually working with communities from around the world. They're paying fair prices to small producers, and they actually give 8% back of the profits to social and environmental projects in the communities that they come from. So actually a really good cause when you buy these bottles. They're giving back to the communities for sure, and they're practicing sustainable practices. And today, I am so curious about this. So when we think about tequila, the official tequila, that spirit that this channel focuses on often, right? It is an agave spirit. This is, just some nerd out with me real quick. So when we think about an agave spirit, it's just basically a spirit, alcohol for lack of better words, that is made from an agave plant. So when we think about mezcal, there's tons of different agave plants or magueys that we can distill to make mezcal. When we're talking tequila only uses one maguey, one agave type, and that's called blue Weber agave tequilana, and that is the agave azul. Not only is tequila only being made with agave azul, to be called tequila, you actually have to be produced in 5 states. So kind of like champagne for sparkling wine is how I like to break it down, when some people don't even realize that champagne and sparkling wine, the same exact thing, except champagne can only be made in Champagne, France, hence the name. Sparkling wine is made outside of that. It's the same here with our agave spirit. So this is, again, a tequila. They're using blue Weber agave. You can see that right there, agave tequilana. They're using blue Weber agave azul, but it's coming from Zacatecas. Zacatecas is a state in Mexico, but it's not a state that's been deemed to allow to be produced tequila. They're not allowed to produce tequila. It's only 5 states that are allowed, and Zacatecas is not one of them. Does that mean agave blue Weber does not grow there? Absolutely not. It does. And then what's happening is that the producer, the distiller in this state, the distillery, is taking the blue Weber agave from Zacatecas. They're distilling it and creating an agave spirit, which again, they're making tequila. They just can't label it tequila because it's made in a state that is not designated to be able to be producing tequila. I hope that makes sense, all right? So that's then why this really is a tequila, but we can only label it agave spirit. This one, I'm super excited because it's at 42%, right? This is actually one of the original bottles of this, and now you'll more than likely see it at 40%, but this is coming in at 42. Personally, I love this bottle. This is a bottle that I would keep around and definitely repurpose and use as an infinity bottle, But yeah, I'm really curious to try this out. And it's honestly just the branding on this Casa Elemental. I actually reviewed their very first production of mezcal years ago, and they have now since rebranded. And this is just kind of some of the regulatory stuff on the back. You can see here, each batch is unique and limited in production, made with the deep respect to the environment and the community. Hence, elemental, right? The elements of the earth is what they're sharing. And just kind of looking up here, agave spirit, the Elemental Collection, 750 ml. And yeah, this right here, that hand bottle, 42%. This is a special, special, special bottle for sure. And I'm about to open this up. So it does just have some plastic pull top at the top. And let's get that off. And then it's like this metal screw cap. So let your bottles unscrew, not pop today. And it is just that metal screw cap. It's stuff like this, like branding does matter. It really does. And this, to me, I love this bottle for sure. And with that being said, I appreciate you being here. Hit that like and subscribe, and make sure to follow us on Instagram at Agave Talk. All right. And yeah, when we do think about brands, you know, hey, you can get a beautiful bottle and the liquid inside is terrible. You could get a terrible looking bottle and the liquid inside is amazing, right? But for you and for everybody else's vibes, hey, what is it that you like personally? I love high quality tequila, mezcal, agave spirits first and foremost. But now to add on top of that other layer, something that actually looks really clean, really nice, aesthetic wise, like I love that modern style look. This, to me, I'm really digging this bottle. And you can even see with like the pulcata coming up next week, it's that same style bottle, but they opted for a wooden cork up at the top. This is going to be this, oh man. Stay tuned for next week. This pulcata, distilled pulque, right? So I'm going to go into what pulque is, go down that rabbit hole before pre-prep, right? But hey, let's check this out. Using agaves from Zacatecas. And this is, man, I'm excited. I'm really excited. Looking at the legs and tears. Let me get that out the way. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty sticky. It doesn't look like really like super thick, but it's definitely the sticking around. Let me try to get that into, yeah, come on. There we go. Move. There we go. And as I was doing that, you can see that big band right there. As I was doing that, yeah, I mean, that, trying to get it in focus, it's not moving. That's definitely not moving. And yeah, this, whew, I'm curious. I'm definitely curious. You know, different plants grow differently in different regions. And I mean that in a sense of like, of course, a plant grows, but it's a different regions, a different terroir that is going to then impart flavors into the agave, how it grows. The soil that it's in, right? The altitude that it's in. Was there a lot of rain? Was there not rain, right? Like what were the environmental factors, you know, going into the production method? And a agave from Zacatecas compared to an agave from Michoacan or, you know, Jalisco, they will taste different. Absolutely, they will taste different. So just kind of, you know, sharing a little bit of that, letting this open up. And with that being said, hey, cheers, salud. And let's take a sniff. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's Blue Weber, but there's a different, it's like, oh man, this is additive free as well. You can see this here. They made it a point to put without additives directly onto the bottle. But as I'm smelling it, plant matter. It's very plant matter forward. It's got some ethanol on there though. And I could not find specifically of this bottle. I could not find a lot of information about this online at all, even from their website. Like going on to the actual like website and the importer's website, this bottle is not on there, which is interesting, right? They're doing a lot. They're doing like rums. They're doing Sator, Raicilla. They have purple corn whiskey, right? They got a whole bunch of Abacanora. But this bottle, it's not on there, which is very interesting as well, right? So, hey, we got something special here. But coming back into the nose, it's really, there's not a lot going on. Not a lot going on in the nose. And at 42%, there is a little bit of ethanol in there, and it's just kind of, it's a very light agave smell and plant matter, but like wet plant matter. A little bit of lime in there, tiny bit of citrus for sure. But overall, it's just a very, like it's a light but chunky at the same time smell. I can't describe that. Just roll with me. There's even kind of like a woody, like a wood to it. It's even kind of got like a wood kind of smell, and even like, I don't know, like clean celery. That's interesting. But hey, I have not took a sip of this yet. I will now. Cheers, and let's see what happens. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. Okay. That's interesting. Oh man, there's layers. It's kind of that bitterness again. So it's, I remember from the mezcal last week, there was a bitterness to it. Right up front, as soon as it hits my tongue, it was like agave. As soon as I swallowed and I breathed out to get those, the flavor that was on in my palate, to kind of put it to my nose, right? Get it through that olfactory system. It was ethanol, but and it came, it was like, let me take another sip. Hold on. Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. That's it. That's interesting. It's like full, it's like an agave, right? But it's not like super agave bomb, but there's hints of agave, Blue Weber tequila, Blue Weber agave in there, I should say. And as soon as I breathe out, though, it's like I'm getting hit with ethanol, and I'm getting hit with like a bitterness as well. I'd be very curious to production methods. How are they producing this for sure? Like, what does that distilling process look like? Are we using copper pots? Are we using a Tahona, roller mill? Is this a diffuser, right? Okay, I see without additives, but that just means they're not adding anything to it afterwards to enhance the flavor. They could still be using a diffuser to create this. But and I say that because a telltale sign with diffuser style tequilas, it's kind of like a nail polish, like a weird nail polish kind of taste. And taking another taste about I don't think, yeah, I wouldn't go diffuser, but there's a bitter taste in there that is just, yeah, it comes fast. It's an agave kind of taste, but it's really light, but it's forward. It's light and it's forward. I breathe out a lot of ethanol, some of that plant matter, a little bit of that citrus in there, but then it's just kind of like bitter, like a burnt style bitterness to it. And then that's what's sticking around my palate right now, is just kind of that like burnt bitterness taste. Let me take this last sip. Mm-mm-mm. As I keep drinking it and as my mouth is getting used to it, it's actually kind of losing its flavor even, right? There was a lot in the very beginning, but now just as, kind of like that long finish, that the espadin from Casa Elemental, where's that espadin? This espadin right here had a really long finish, if I remember correctly. You know what? I'm not even washing the glass. I'm just going in. This is the benefit of having all this right here, right? So just taking a small sip of this espadin. Let me see. This espadin, yes, that finish is long. That flavor is staying on my palate for quite some time. I love it. I love it. But this, it was just as I took those last sips, right? And let me take this last little pour here. As my palate got used to it and my aroma, my nose got used to it. It just comes and it goes. Yeah, not very long lasting at all. But hey, overall, definitely something to try if you do see it in the wild, just to be able to say, yes, I have tried a tequila, right? An agave spirit outside of the 5 states that are designated to be able to produce tequila. And of course, drink everything and anything, all right? Stay tuned next week. I am bringing you the pulcata. I am very excited for this, a distilled pulque. And this is coming in at, this is 40%. No, 42% as well. And man, this, I'm saving what I think is hopefully the best for last, just because of how unique it is. And overall, too, go back and find that video for the mezcal. All right. I appreciate you being here. If you have not done so already, hit that like and subscribe, as well as follow us on Instagram at Agave Talk. All right. Take care, everybody.